So this is my new Vauxhall Adam, the typical first car for first time drivers. It has a 1.4 16 valve engine making a whopping 85 horsepower. And today we're going to try the impossible. This has never been done before. We're going to try and install this humongous engine into the engine bay, and we don't even know if it's even going to fit. It's looking like it's going to be a tight fit. Oh, it's out, mate, it's out! And if that is stupid enough, we're going to try and make 500 horsepower and install a giant turbo. So why did we pick this type of build? No one really builds sleepers no more. No one puts big engines in small cars, and we wanted to go back to our roots where we had something tiny with a lot of power, and it had to be something Vauxhall. So we went on eBay and we found this for £530. Perfect interior, really nice spec, the body's clean, but the engine is scrap. So having sourced a shell, we knew we needed to fit something that no one had done before, everyone would think would never fit, so we decided to go for the biggest, the most powerful engine in the Vauxhall family. So this engine commonly comes in the Vectra VXR. It is a 2.8 V6 turbo. I think they make around 280 horsepower. We're going to hopefully change that. We're going to hopefully aim for 500 horsepower. Obviously you can see how big it is. We don't even know if it's going to fit between the chassis legs of the Vauxhall Adam. So first thing we should do is let's look at the Adam and let's see what we're dealing with. So we've just connected our OBD11 scanner, which is a small pocket device which allows you to connect your phone to your car so you can scan all the systems. If you have any faults, you can check them yourself. So we're going to scan this car now to see if we have any issues which is going to affect us in the future. I can see there is a camshaft fault, which is kind of what we suspected with this, because obviously we suspect the chain is stretched, which is why we ended up with the engine fault and why we got it for spares and repairs. So that's a good thing, because it's not going to affect us in the future. And if you have a specific brand like VAG, BMW and Toyota, they have thousands of one-click apps which allow you to change specific features like headlights, stop-start, the Haldex. So right now ODB11 have a special plan on called the Ultimate Plan, which gives you 10,000 credits to access all them special features. If you want to save some money, use the code TWIN. So let's get back into the video and let's get back on the Adam. So with most of the front end off, we can start looking at now what room I've got and will it fit in between the two chassis legs. Now on quick rough guesstimate, I'm going through this, from chassis leg to from the edge of the box. So we're talking from the edge of there to there, it's looking like it's going to be a tight fit. Because if I put that on the edge of the engine, which is about there, edge of the box, you can't really see there, it's about 900.
I like it.
Do you know what I mean? You just help
twist it.
Twist it because the alt start. Yeah, come on. Oh, there we go, kid.
Right, lift it up.
You see how it's attached, boy? Oh, it's out, mate. It's out.
You've got to come above that.
No, it should come out.
Yeah, go on.
The engine's out, and this is the thing I have been waiting the most for, to finally put the engine in front of the bay and weigh the job up. It's a big old thing, and there's the empty bay. Looking at it, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. The only thing I'm worried about is there's a big back mount here. That looks a bit funny in there. That might have to be adapted a lot. What is the worst that can happen?
This is the bit. They never show this on YouTube, do they? Never. Yay. what I mean, mate?
Push it in, lift it.
Get in now, can't you, mate?
Easy, mate. So status report, it's horrendous. It doesn't fit at all. It's banging here, and then you go around this side. It's catching up against the chassis leg there. We'll wing it. It's going to scrape everything as it goes in. We'll start cutting if needs be, but yeah. At least we're somewhere off the ground, and it's somewhere between the chassis legs.
Give it a shove route.
Hold on, we're catching here.
Balance that.
Tell you what, kid, it's not far off.
It is, isn't it? We're there. Right, what? It sounds like it feels like it's catching your edge.
No.
Standard mount on this
Tell
side.
you what, mate, standard mount that. I'll tell you what, it's in the bay. Listen,
What's first things
I'm
first?
going to be honest with you, right?
You didn't think it fit that well?
That fits pretty damn well, that. This area here is far too close. It needs to go over at least 10 mil. We can't, because, I'm trying to torch in there, it's going to catch the chassis leg if it goes over. So now I'm going to notch the chassis leg, do a bit more preparation, and then see if I can put the engine in, shove it over, then I can make that mount. So thankfully, we've now got what I class as a free swinging engine in the engine bay. There's enough clearance on the gearbox if you look down there to swing, and it's about where it needs to sit.
A few moments later.
So we've been able to use the factory Adam mount, which is this part. It can't go any further back because it'll catch. It can't go any more that way because it'll catch. And we've got just enough clearance, if you can just see there, between the side of the block and the engine. So with that one mount on, even though it could be temporary, I might revisit, I probably will revisit it, but it means I can work on finalising gearbox mount. This is the original mount. So, as you can see, it's super close to the chassis leg. So I think I'm going to have to notch a little bit more out the chassis leg just for a bit of clearance for that mount. Then I'm going to use the original Adam mount. I think I'm going to machine that off and then make an L plate which goes down and across, which then will mean it goes down and across, and that should bolt to the factory mounting points, bolt to them, and fingers crossed that will work. So this is what I mean by the L shape. So there's your bracket on the gearbox that can come off. You've got a plate there which I can tack along here and along the back, and then that there is just a little bit of a reinforcer to go along the end so I can weld it all to so he's got something to pull it. And now we have the finished engine mount. So that should be fine now. So we've got a mount there, a mount there. So I'm hoping I can take the jack out, let all the weight off the crane, and it'll rest, and then I can, again, assess with the back mount, and then if I have to revisit any of these, I just work my way around until I've got it where I'm really happy. So as long as the engine moves any rocking motion, doesn't catch, doesn't knock, then you've done your mounting right, because in between the chassis legs, it's not rubbing on anything, and it fits. So let's just have a quick go. Bear in mind it's an heavy thing. Yeah, you can see there, the thing rocks up backwards and forwards, which is perfectly where we want it. As for them two mounts, this one's 100% done. That one I'm going to revisit. I'm going to get on with the two stabilisers. First problems to address. We've bolted on this front aluminium subframe, which is a removable panel to put your radiator on. We have clearance issues around here because that's part of the oil system, so I need to start looking at getting some clearance for there. And then as you go around to the gearbox, we have, you can just see, a clearance issue on the gearbox there. The notching's finished. So as you can see there, we've notched out for this area, because obviously the engine rocks, we want a bit of clearance. And we've notched out under the gearbox. You can see that there. So there's loads of room under the gearbox. Now we can get back on with the two stabiliser mounts. So this is the rear, obviously, stabiliser off the Vauxhall Adam, which is the factory one. And these 3 holes here are for where the original mount were for the Vectra. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of paper, and then what I do is, so if you watch what I do is, let's say you want to mark that hole out, get a ball pin hammer, and I just go, and what that does is it knocks the hole out and tells you where the mount should be. So I'm going to do that in this area now. So I've got all the 3 holes there for the mount, and I've got the 4th hole for the stabiliser. So this is now the rear stabiliser mount all finished. The 3 spaces which I needed to space it off the block just a little bit to have the rear mount run true. And then that spacer little piece there, just welded on so it can sit nicely and bolt up nice and clean. So let's get it on the car. And that's the rear mount now installed and finished. And that's what I mean by the little spacer now all clamped up. It's all nice. I can remove the jack to allow the engine to rock, but it should stay in its static place now. So we're on to the front mount, and this is what I'm kind of thinking. I'll explain this in a minute. I'm thinking some kind of bracket out here to bolt through so it's kind of bolted on, and then I think I'll make a bracket, cut all this off and make a bracket down to the original places, because there's physically not a lot of room in this area to put the factory on and trim it. So yeah, I think I'm going to use this. So this is quite funny. It was an engine mount I made for a 1.8 turbo Polo, which never got finished. They got scrapped, and I ended up cutting this mount off. So I'm going to utilise it. It's been sat on my bench for probably 5 years, so I'm going to finally get some use out of it. So, made a bracket, folded it. I'm going to put a bolt on that side so it comes through here. I'm having a bolt there, so it kind of bolts to this subframe. I just thought a steel one bolted on would be stronger than an alley. And then all I've got to do now is make a 10mm plate with a radius, which goes to that bolt and that bolt, using the same way I did on the back mount with a piece of paper, mark the holes, mark the shape, cut it out, weld it on. So this now is the finished product for the front stabiliser mount. Bolts the chassis leg, bolts the gearbox, well happy. Engine is now sat where it needs to be. So that's this enormous engine sat on its 4 mounts, which technically means I need to repair this chassis leg where I've cut it all out and start removing the junk which we don't need on this engine. So for the 900th time, let's pull the engine out. So with the engine out, we've been able to finish this chassis leg off and repair it. So there's the notch for the gearbox. There's the notch to give a bit more clearance on the mount. So we've stripped all the turbo off, as you can see. We've stripped some of the EGR pipes off, which run all over here, but the turbo's off. And I've put it next to an example. This isn't the actual turbo we're going to use, but we're actually probably going to go a size up from this, and that's a GT35 on old school turbo. That's the original. That's going to be obviously a representation of the new one. So let's get it now in the bay, because then it's on with the fun stuff. Mounting a turbo, doing boost pipes. So we've got the factory radiator in place, and to be fair, it fits pretty damn well with clearance. So if we look down there, loads of room between the manifold and the radiator. I've got loads of room here for an intercooler. I'll get a nice slimline fan on the back. Outlets obviously go the radiator there to here, so it's on the same side. And then the good thing is on this side is you've got the outlet there of the block, and then just down there you've got the inlet for the radiator. So the water pipes don't look too bad on this. Being totally honest, the car's obviously an absolute tip, but being honest, I didn't even know if this was even going to fit. So it was more the fact of suck it and see before we start making the thing look pretty. It's on the ground, I've put the front end on, and I've even put the mock-up turbo on there. Look at this. Now bear in mind, we're hoping the turbo that comes is going to be bigger than this one. This is just a mock-up for the time being, just to get the visual of what it looks like. It looks exactly how I envisioned it. When you open the bonnet, this huge turbo just hits you in the face. I'm going to get it outside. I'm going to give it a good clean. And yeah, I'm actually very excited for this build, because I can see it getting out of hand and I can see us chasing big numbers. So now it's been washed, we can see what we're dealing with. It's come up really nice, especially in the white. And let's look inside, because the spec of this thing is insane. Full panel roof, all the central entertainment system. This is going to be a really cool car. And obviously the best bit is opening the bonnet and you're greeted with that humongous engine and a giant turbo. This thing is going to be crazy when it's done. So the engine's in the bay, the mock-up turbo's kind of where it should be. You put in the comments what you guys think of this build, because I think it's going to get very much out of hand. So I want you guys to put in the comment what actual turbo we should use, what size, what manufacturer, because on the next video, make sure you subscribe. We're going to mount the actual turbo we're going to use. We're going to start piping it all in, put a giant front mount on there, and start getting towards that goal of making it run. So take care, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.